Hey, welcome to I'm That Mom, the podcast about motherhood without the pressure of perfection. My name is Katie. I'm a self-taught entrepreneur who started my baby company while pregnant and grew it to an 8-figure business as a single mom of 3. Join us as we discuss the fun, funny, and messy parts of motherhood. We're certainly not experts. We're just here to support all the moms and hopefully, collectively, we don't completely f*** it up. Okay, I'm so excited because Emily is here on the podcast with us today. She has officially been with Caden Lane the longest, so it's absolutely ridiculous that you have not done a podcast with me yet.
I know.
She is a mom to my 2 beautiful, they're not my grandbabies, but they're my children by...
They're your niece and nephew.
They're my niece and nephew,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wiley and Wesley. And I've watched you become a mom. I've watched you become a mom to 2. I have watched you make the decision to send one of them to daycare, which is what we're going to talk about today, and hoping that you don't cry, right?
We'll see.
Although
see.
now you have a totally different opinion about daycare, but it was scary.
It's so scary.
It's so scary at the beginning. And so I thought it would just be fun for our moms to kind of hear your perspective, because it has been a hot minute since I had to take my kids to daycare. Yeah. And I did the same thing as you. So when my oldest was born, my dad watched him for a very long time. And then I started putting him in daycare when I actually think it was right before I got pregnant with my second. And that was kind of your scenario, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So my mom actually keeps both of them, or my kids, for a year. And then after the year is up, she's like, all right. They have to go to daycare.
365 days.
Literally.
She is like,
oh, yeah.
It is happening.
Wesley, my oldest, she turned 1 February 10th. And by February 12th, she was in daycare.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But still, we can't fault your mom for that because she is a godsend.
She was amazing and just literally helped with everything. Every time they needed an appointment or whatever, she was there and it was amazing. And she still is.
Yes, absolutely. And your kiddos are how many months apart?
They are 14 months apart.
And you don't think that had anything to do with her 12-month rule?
Yeah, she's probably like, hurry up.
Hurry up, yeah.
Get them to daycare.
Yeah, but so I remember you started looking at daycares, though, before the 12 months came up.
Oh, yeah. You have to find a daycare so fast now. You have to prepare for there to be an opening and the one that you want. There's so many things looking into a daycare that you don't think about, how much is it going to cost, and is it the one that I want to go to, or
what are their hours?
What is the hours?
Yeah.
Are the teachers nice? Is it clean?
How many did you tour? Do you remember?
I think I toured about 5.
Yeah.
And I never felt like they were the one.
Yeah.
And until I went to the last one and I took Wesley with me to tour it with me.
Yeah.
And I knew it was the one because she just literally lit up when I brought her in.
Oh, and she started playing.
Wow. It was so cute.
And it's been rough though. She had a lot of teachers at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of transitions.
There was a ton of turnover. She never really felt comfortable until a couple months in. Yeah. And it was her actual teacher that she stuck with for a while that she loved. And
didn't you tell me one time that didn't she cry because she didn't want to leave? Or was it because her dad picked her up one time and she was crying because it wasn't you? Wasn't there a story?
Probably.
I feel like there was. Because, let's skip to the beginning, because that's the part that I want to really talk about is how hard it is. Because there's, we have a lot of guilt, moms do.
Oh, yeah, you feel so guilty.
So guilty. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't end. This weekend, I have a stupid cheer comp I have to go to. And then last night, Ashlyn told me that it's her first lacrosse game because...
Lacrosse?
Yeah, she's playing lacrosse now. I don't know. I don't even think she knows how to play lacrosse.
She's like, what is lacrosse?
It is going to be very entertaining. And actually, Lila was like, this isn't fair. You're not going to cheer. Ashlyn's not even playing real lacrosse. It's fake lacrosse, Mom. And I was like, no, it's real. And I have to go do it. Yes. And so, but I have so much guilt that I'm going to miss her cheer competition now. Because I've got to go to Ashlyn's lacrosse game. And Like, there shouldn't even be any guilt because I go to everyone, but I'm like, the other moms are going to be like, well, why isn't Katie there? And she's a terrible mom. And I can't send out like a memo that's like, no, I'm at this other thing. And so it never ends. And
because you don't want the parents to think like, oh, where is she?
Yes.
Where's her mom?
Yeah, I know. So great.
But
now I have mom guilt. But
it's
that
the same guilt.
It is the same guilt, and it is most terrible at when you are transitioning from a newborn to putting them in daycare. You got the benefit of your mom, which is so awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, I really, like, my heart breaks for the moms that have to put their 6-week-old.
At 6 weeks. I think that's when they open it. Yeah. It's like, that's the earliest they can go.
And some moms don't have a choice. No. Like, maybe they're the breadwinner, or maybe they need both incomes in the house, or, maybe their job is making them come back at, full time at 6 weeks. It could be a variety of different things. And so you kind of got to, like, transition a little being away from her, but I don't think you ever cried dropping her off at your mom's house.
No, right? Because it was comfortable. Like, obviously, like, your mom, you feel comfortable with, for most people, but like, I knew she was fine, and I knew that my mom would do anything at the drop of the hat to, like, help her. But sending him to daycare, it's so unknown, and it's so, like, it's not your territory, and so it's just hard.
I think I remember right before you did it, and I told you, I was like, it's more than likely she's gonna cry, right? Like, they all cry. And the worst thing that you can do is, which is completely goes against, like, your motherly instinct, but the worst thing you can do is be there. Like, you're
stay.
And the daycare tells you, right? Like, the best thing you can do is come in and drop them off, even if they're crying or screaming, because they do calm down. I mean, that's the reality of it. These kids calm down, and so quickly they're distracted and having fun and playing and, like, doing all the things. But in that moment, like, it is like a knife in the heart, because you're like, they're holding onto your clothes and you're, like, pushing them off.
Yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst part about it. It was just like, the first week, I knew that she was, like, she needed me. That's what I felt, at least. It was like, I just feel so bad dropping her off in this unfamiliar place and not knowing, like, is she gonna cry all day? Is she? And literally her grabbing onto you, like, screaming.
It's terrible. Like,
it's horrible.
It's
sorry, like bringing me back.
I'm making you live back through it again. This is torture, you guys.
Torture.
Like, this is pure torture.
You did.
But it is so hard, and and you're literally like,
I'm gonna cry.
Crying. So I remember you coming back to the office, and you like took your time. It wasn't like I was really proud of you. I do remember you calling me after, and you were like, I cried as soon as you left the room. Like, you cried walking out of the school. Like, you were like, ah.
Well, and I remember the front desk ladies, they were the sweetest ladies on earth. Yeah. And they were just like, you can call us all time of day. Like, we will answer. We will go check on her. We will make sure that she's okay.
And you did.
And I did.
Yeah. And she was fine.
And she was okay. And they were like, she's happy. She's playing. And that, like, made my heart happy. But
it still, like, felt like just a, like, stab.
Yeah, because like, the first day wasn't bad. Like, she kind of was like, oh, this looks fun. And then the whole week was like, what are you doing?
She figured it out.
And so you just feel so guilty. Like, here you go. And you really do. You have to, like, drop and go. But when they're little, like, if they're not walking or whatever, you can't just, like, set them down. Yeah. Or you can,
you're like, but it's like the teacher ripping them out of your arms.
Yes, it's literally the teacher ripping her off of me. And I was like, this is
there should
horrible.
Be, like, drugs for moms, like, when they're dropping off their kids at daycare. And you're doing it because, you know that it's that you need help. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, and you have choices. I mean, you could have done an au pair. You could have done... a nanny. You could have gone to you went and toured a million different schools, and you know that you picked the one that in your heart you felt like was the right thing. And it's, you'll probably tell your daughter one day, right? Like, this is gonna be really hard.
What she needs to do.
And this is what you have to do. But there's just, I think when they're that little, they're just a part of you so much.
Yeah.
And they haven't pissed you off enough yet.
No.
because
I was
before,
like, my sweet baby that's not even talking yet. Like, she can't tell me that she doesn't like it, or that she does and she doesn't know how to separate, or
and then you
you
run every worst case scenario in your head. Like, what if they sit in a wet diaper all day?
Yeah.
Or what if they forget to feed her? Or what if all the other kids are playing and she's sitting in the corner?
and
like,
she's just a loner.
Yeah.
Or she doesn't know how to go to sleep without me and she needs me.
Yeah,
And
I know.
that's what you think that whole first week.
And it is so hard. And then when you go to get them, though, you feel your heart like explode, because as soon as you walk in the room, do you remember her like,
oh, yeah.
And sometimes they cry because they get so excited.
Yeah.
Like, did she ever do that? Where
the whole first week, I keep talking about the first week, but that was like the most memorable to me.
Yeah.
She was asleep every time I went in there because she was so tired from playing all day.
Poor baby.
She was just like face down in her mat, like asleep.
I remember the pictures and like her bright red cheeks.
Yes, they're so red from like playing all day, but I knew she was having fun.
Did it make you feel better at all?
Yeah, it
Kind
did.
of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like after you get past that initial week or whatever transition, it's so much better.
Yeah.
And it just gets easier. It really does. And
because now she will run into her class and she's like, "Peace out, Mom."
oh yeah, she'll be like, "Bye, Mom."
Yeah.
And she's officially been going for a year now, and it's so weird to see like her just thriving there. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I know. And
Except for if her dad picks her up, because I swear, like a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
Weren't we like gone at some or. No, it was recently when we went to the swim photo shoot.
Yes.
And Sam, who is the best dad in the world, sent a video of Wesley crying in the car. Because y'all divide and conquer, right? Like,
well, so he takes the younger one to my mom's, and then I take her to daycare. So she's like my
she's
girl.
used to you.
Yeah. And every morning we do like our little pep talks and our affirmations, like, are you going to be kind? You're going to be nice to your friends?
Yeah. And she's all, I think so.
I know. I'm like, I can't say you're not going to bite them, right? Because she will.
Yes, she will. And she might get, has she bitten anybody yet?
I don't know if she's bitten anybody. She gets bit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's the worst part. Yeah.
And daycare calls you for every single little bump on the head.
They do. And so that kind of makes you feel a little bit better. Like at least they're telling you.
I know. There's something going on. Yeah. And Wesley's so obsessed with like, not getting hurt now, but like something happening, because she knows she'll get to go to the front desk to get ice.
Yeah.
And so she's like, my arm hurts.
Oh,
and
she gets special attention.
Yeah, she gets special attention. And so.
So what would you tell a mom that's like maybe getting, like she's doing all the research about daycare right now, and she's getting ready to go back to work or whatever the situation is, and like what advice would you give her about that first week?
The first week of like actually sending them or getting
prepared?
Yeah,
okay, that's even better. Let's break it up. So maybe first let's talk about the first day. Like what does she need to take for the baby? Like what did you pack? Did you go buy things?
I bought a ton of stuff. Depending on how old they are. Yeah. Like I had to prepare her like blanket and her little sleep sack, and I like monogrammed everything because that's just what I wanted.
If you don't want to monogram it,
you don't have to.
Label.
You can label everything, and you can get like special labels. I just put Sharpie on it because it was like cheaper stuff that I knew was going to get dirty or messed up or whatever. But you have to label their extra clothes and
send extra clothes.
Send extra clothes. You have to send extra clothes because if you don't, then they will put their own clothes on them, and it's like horrible.
And it's the lost and found clothes, and so it's like
it's so gross.
It's either like a 4T T-shirt on your 1-year-old, but they didn't have pants, or
Wesley came home with a Spider-Man T-shirt the other day, and I was like, ew.
So I guess I need to send some more clothes.
Yeah, I was like 3 shirts, I guess, next time.
Yeah, and you have to label their diapers, right?
They actually label the diapers, but just the package.
Yeah,
but they label each diaper individually, and the wipes and the bottles and the bottle. We did the bottle labels; those were super helpful.
Yeah,
and
anything that'll help. you think about it, like those teachers must be saints.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can't, like I
So
see a
much
twin
patience.
mom and I'm like, how is she doing that? And then you go into a toddler room in a daycare center and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yet they can lay like mats down on the floor
And they'll sleep.
And they sleep. But
How?
she doesn't even like stay in one spot when you tell her to
No.
eat dinner at home. But
No.
she sleeps like
On a mat.
yes.
Or a cot.
On a cot. Like how do they do it? They must have some magic potion, or maybe they see all the other kids doing it. I don't know.
I think so. I've gone in during nap time before, and it's like pitch black, and they have this like super loud ocean noises, like a sound machine.
Yeah.
And just all of them are sleeping, and I guess that just like helps.
That's crazy.
Them. I have no idea.
So what about the like dropping off? Because the advice that like I gave you was try not to hang around.
Yeah,
it's gonna suck. But what would you tell a mom?
Yeah, I mean, the first day, obviously, you like want to get them situated and like put their stuff in their cubby and make sure the teacher knows like your schedule and all of the things. But
did you write down her schedule before you went?
yeah, you have to write it down. When they're baby, you have to write it down like once a week or something. Like
and
in
they
case
even
it
mark,
changes.
right? Do they still send home like report cards where they like mark how many wet diapers and how many?
Oh yeah, it's all online now.
It's online. I just dated myself. Mine was like a printed report card that literally like you like circled or highlighted and then oh my God, it's online.
Yeah,
that's
so
embarrassing.
They tell me like each meal that they eat, like if they ate it all, and they'll even throw in like all these emojis and make it fun.
Oh, that's sweet.
But they'll say like when they napped and how many wet diapers, or they put like BM for the bowel movements and all the things. So I know.
Does that help you does it make you feel better knowing that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
It's like, oh, is she eating? That's another thing. Like that first week I was like, is she eating something? Like I have to make sure that my baby is okay.
And she's like eating vegetables there, but at home she
doesn't.
doesn't.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, she eats like fettuccine tetrazzini or something.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
And then at home she's all dino nugget.
I know.
And that's it.
Yeah. But right next to it, it's like she ate all of it. And I'm like, she likes these things, but I don't know how to cook that.
Yeah. Who knows what they are.
Thank you, daycare.
Yeah. So would you tell a mom like be prepared to cry? Like it's going to happen?
Yeah. It will probably more than likely cry. Like you're just going through the motions the first day, but like either the first couple days, it's emotional.
Yeah, on both ends.
And maybe it's not. If your kid just like willingly runs in there and is so excited, like that's the best scenario. But
did it only take a week to adjust? I feel like
it was a couple of weeks or like the first month, honestly.
Yeah. I think it does. And it can be different times. Like you can adjust quicker than they do, or maybe they adjust quicker. Because it kind of also like tears at your heartstrings when they are like, bye. Or you go to pick them up and they're like, I don't want to leave. And you're like, but you haven't seen me all day.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but I'm having fun.
I haven't gotten to that moment yet of her like not wanting to leave.
Yeah.
She's like run around the classroom before, but she always like wants to leave.
Yeah.
But that'll break my heart when she doesn't want to leave. I
don't
want to do that.
It's literally painful when they're holding on to their teacher.
Yes.
And hugging and, okay, so for sure the drop-off was super emotional. Mm-hmm. And then you had to drive to work.
Yes, that was the worst because I drive like 45 minutes to work. And so just the whole time I'm just thinking, I'm all in my feels like, oh my gosh, my poor baby.
Am I making the right decision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, should I stay home with her? Like, oh my gosh, I'm sending her to this horrible place. And when it's not. But those are just like all the like thoughts that are going through your mind. And I just couldn't handle it that first week. Did you come
to work and tell? I think we all knew that it was first day.
Y'all knew, but I just stayed super quiet. Be prepared to like not be okay that first week. I was not okay.
I remember one of the girls like slacking me, being like, Emily's crying. And I was like, I can't come in there. It'll get worse. Tell me when she stops and I'll come back in there and I'll check on her. Yeah. And I think you were like just a wave of emotion all day.
Oh, it was horrible.
Like in the moments when you forgot about it, you were okay. And then the second you remembered, you were like full faucet tears.
Yeah, the girl that was sitting behind me at work, she was like, could hear me sniffling. And so,
no. Like, that's so sad.
I
You
know.
were
I'm just so upset. And then she randomly turned around and she goes, do you want a hug? And I was like, no. Absolutely not.
No,
and that made me just like,
I want to go get my
more.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So be prepared to not be very productive either. But.
Yeah. But would it have been worse if you had gone home?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like, I think it would have been worse if you had just gone home and like
been in your feels.
And been in your feels. Because that's what you're fighting against is like, can I work from home with my kids? You know, can I do it all at the same time? And quite confidently, I can say it is really hard to do.
Oh, yeah. There's no way I could do it. And I knew that's why I needed to, like, figure out the daycare situation or childcare in general. Yeah. Just, like, you need to make that step if you are a working mom. And it's a hard one, but it's a hard one. It's necessary. And
yeah. I mean, and you've got, so Wiley's coming up on a year.
Yep.
So April. Have you thought about, like, am I going to put both of them in daycares? Have you thought about alternative things? I mean, it was 2 kids when I switched to a nanny because it was the same freaking price as daycare.
Insane price right now.
It's so expensive.
It's so expensive, and that's hard to, like, swallow that you're going to spend that much on childcare.
It is so not fair. And I mean, that's a whole different like topic, right? But you are having to kind of, and especially because usually you're young moms and at the early part of your careers. Yeah. And so it's really hard when like majority or in I'm sure a lot of cases, all of your paycheck is going to daycare. And then you're crying about it and you know, it sucks.
It sucks.
The whole thing just sucks. And I think you know what most moms know in their heart, right? Like what, even if it's hard, like we push through it or we feel like we know what the right thing is. And sometimes you don't. Like sometimes you question like, should I be at home with my kids or should I be spending more time? And I think the right thing, like even when I struggle with that, I'm like, there's no right way.
No, there really isn't.
Because if you were home all the time, maybe you'd be like, I need something else for myself too. And so, yeah, it's just hard. And it doesn't help that it is like ridiculously expensive.
I know. That's the worst part about it. But I honestly haven't put any thought into anything other than putting him in daycare too. So
do you think it'll be just as hard for him?
I don't know.
Or a little easier? Maybe?
I think it'll be a little easier just because Wesley just came from the class that he'll be going into. Yeah. And so I know the teachers, I'm comfortable with them. They're already so excited for him to come. They are? Yeah. Aww. They're like, how many more months do we have to wait? Yeah. And I'm like, just a few more.
That's so awesome.
I know.
Okay, so I want you to tell the story because before this started, you were saying that one of your friends so tell that story because it is hilarious.
Yeah, so one of my friends, she goes to a daycare and they do Saturdays, like not every Saturday, but like 1 week or 1 weekend a month.
I have never heard.
I know.
And it's a legit like all day daycare?
Yeah.
Or is it like a church daycare?
No, it's an all day daycare. Also, you can like choose your schedule per week. Like if you want to send them 3 days, you can pick the days, not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's amazing.
I know. And then they also do, I don't know if it's every day, but you can leave them till 11 p.m. if you needed to.
My gosh.
Yeah. And it's like $10 extra
That's
to leave them.
That's also kind of sad if you're leaving your baby there till 11. But
if you had errands to run, like having to be there at 5:30 or 6:30 whenever your
date
daycare
night
closes.
Like what if you wanted to do, just like a date night and you could even go pick them up and then like I could see taking them back for dinner and then you just have a nice date night and they're with somebody you trust in a safe area. That's kind of amazing. We need to figure out what daycare that is.
I know. I need to
Or
look
you
into
need to
it, but
go complain to yours and be like,
why don't y'all do Saturdays?
why aren't you open till 11 p.m. and why aren't you doing Saturdays?
I heard this daycare does those.
Yeah, complete 360 from crying, the whole first day, like, how can I? And watching your clock like every 5 minutes, waiting for the moment like that you leave at 4:30 to go get her. And now you're like, that's kind of nice that you can leave him until
like a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Just to like get things done. Like, those first year or couple years, like the dishes get behind and the washing your clothes get behind. Like there's so much housework that can be done too.
Yeah.
Those little moments, if you don't have a babysitter or whatever, like
it gets
leaving
easier.
them there for a little bit.
It gets easier. You're in the thick of it. You've got 8.
Oh my gosh.
How many months is Wiley now?
He's almost 10 months and then an almost 2-year-old.
Yeah. So that's just really hard.
1 and 2.
Yeah. That's
basically
really hard, but it does get easier. And
just because they go through so many outfits too.
And all the things. I know. Well, that's awesome. And you're really lucky that you have found a daycare and more importantly, the teachers. That's always what I, recommend to people too is go tour the daycares and see the facility, but meet the teacher that is going to be your child's teacher, because I think that's almost like you'll tour daycares that are like pristine, like they're brand new and everything is amazing and they have this curriculum and like all this crazy stuff, and then you go meet the teacher and you just get like an ick.
No, that's not.
Or you could go tour like the tiniest little church daycare that maybe their toys are donated and it has just kind of a mom and pop feel, but you meet the teacher and you're like,
and they're amazing.
And they're amazing. Yeah, and they're like that, like perfect grandma, cozy, and you're watching through the window and they're playing with the children. And I would say that is how you should pick a daycare.
I think
not
so too.
necessarily based on all the whistles and bells.
No, and every single morning Wesley will be like, I'm so excited. She doesn't say all of that, but she's like...
She's saying a lot
now.
She
has lots of words now, but she will be like, I'm excited for Miss Alyssa and Miss Destiny. Like, she'll name drop all of the kids in her class and all of her teachers. She's just so excited.
Yeah. Wasn't she talking about a boy too? Or there was a friend. Didn't she have a friend she kept talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And how cute is that?
It's so cute.
She's playing. And they say at that age that kids don't actually play together. They play side by side.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
But I challenge those people to go look in a daycare because I feel like...
I always am peeking in.
Yeah, and is she sitting by herself or is she ever with other kids?
She's always with the other kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why do they say that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not neither of us are doctors and I'm not challenging it.
No.
But I have definitely remember walking in and like they'd all be, sitting.
Playing. Yeah. They're just playing.
So.
And it's so cute. And honestly, like... the pickup is my favorite part about my days still. Like, I love going to pick her up.
Yeah. And surprise. It's kind of like a surprise, right?
Yes. And I'll, like, peek in, make sure she's, like, playing like normal. And then I'm, like, pop in.
And then you pop in, and then she lights up.
Yes.
And then it makes your heart explode. And,
it's the best.
Yeah. And then you go home, and you're like, I can't wait for you to go to sleep.
Yeah. Now go to sleep.
Okay. That was good. Now go to sleep, please.
It's just that it's a hard point of time because, like, from picking them up from daycare to bedtime, that's like the hardest part that a toddler goes through. They're just like in the tired, like fussy stage, and you're like,
yeah,
it's hard, but it gets easier.
Well, so see, you made it through your first podcast. You did so good. You're definitely going to have to do more now. Yeah. I see them like nodding. Yeah, they're like, yes, you're going to do more. But it's so important. I think that you're so relevant to a lot of the people listening, and they're in the same kind of points in life that you're in, and I just think that women need to share more, right?
Yeah.
Like, and kind of share the story of like, we don't know what we're doing. We're definitely not perfect.
No.
We secretly want our kids to stay at daycare until 11 p.m. on Saturday.
Couple days, just a couple days.
And whatever way you do it is the best way for you. And I'm proud of you as a mom.
Thank you.
Because I knew you long before you became a mom. So, and it's so fun to see everybody at work just kind of blossom into the people they are. So,
motherhood.
Okay, so if you want to see what the gorgeous Emily looks like, you can watch us on YouTube, and also check out all the amazing products she designs at cadenlane.com, of course. Subscribe to us so that you can keep listening. We want to hear, maybe you have an idea of what podcast Emily and I can do next. We would love to know. And of course, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok. What else? We're on all the things.
All the things.
Yeah. So do all the things and
all
find
the
us.
things. Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest.